This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
You all ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
Dun, 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 dun.
This is a sham.
No.
Y'all, just stop. Get real.
Welcome to Daily Blast Live. Hello, ladies.
What's going on? Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. Happy to all of you Monday. If you didn't know out there, there's a national teacher shortage. So one estimate shows there are more than 200,000 open positions nationwide. And one man's viral TikTok post is helping to explain why. So this random dude from Ohio, his name is Seth from Ohio, he posted this TikTok holding up a Walmart vest. He said he left teaching after 6 years to be a Walmart manager, where he's making a lot more money. As a teacher, Seth made around $43,000. Now he's making $55,000, and that's before bonuses. Seth said he didn't disparage anyone for becoming a teacher, but then added, quote, "Think about how good our teachers could be if they focused on teaching and not having to work on a second job on weekends or having to arm themselves."
Oh, yeah.
Which also drives me crazy. You both were nodding. Erica, what'd you think?
You know, my mother was a teacher for 40 years, wow. 50 maybe. Yeah, she was a teacher for over 40 years. As a professor, she taught in the School of Education, so people who want to become teachers. Enrollment's down. And why are we shocked by this? Every time we have a conversation about education in our country, we make it seem like people just have to teach our children. We're talking about actually suing teachers or holding them legally accountable for saying certain things. We're talking about arming teachers. We're doing all of this for people who are not making enough money to survive. And actually, a lot of them are putting those very little funds back into their students, which shouldn't be money they have to allocate.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So for all the people out there who are like, well, the teachers need to be, no, y'all need to be closing your mouths, because either we're going to have this conversation about maybe treating people fairly, teachers getting livable wages, or we're going to have the conversation about your uneducated children.
Right. Which one are you going to want? You're going to, exactly. Now, I do want to tell you, Lindsay, teachers did see a 1.4 increase over the prior school year. However, when adjusted for inflation, they lost nearly $2,000 less than in 2008 and 2009. And also, people think teachers have the summer off. They only work 8 to 3. Their only job is to just talk to children. All of that is wrong, and they pay for most of their own resources.
And a lot of teachers have their master's degree or doctorates, and so to get those degrees, you never get paid back at any point or rewarded for most teachers. And so, you know, that's a hard thing to try to tell somebody to continue their education, but then you'll live in a constant state of debt for your whole life.
Right.
And then also the things like spending their own money on advanced programming just to learn stuff. They don't usually get reimbursed for those things, as well as school supplies, like erasers, pens, things that my friends that are elementary school teachers tell me, like, it's just not enough, so I'm not going to have my kids not have enough crayons. No. So, you know, things definitely need to change, and I think that if we can see somebody who literally went to Walmart, maybe that's a shining example of why can't we meet Walmart where they're at when it comes to minimum wage? Why can't teachers figure that out?
I totally agree. There's a famous woman, Abby Norman, who said, "I quit my teaching job. I now make more bartending for 15 fewer hours a week, and I get blamed for way less and get told thank you way, way more. No lessons plans or grading papers." Again, I'm not putting down teachers. We lift them up. We have family that are educators here, but why? What's the carrot to go there? And this is, again, public schools. If you're not going to pay them.
And we've been having the same conversation for decades. It's like, what's the issue? Like,
priorities here, people, right? Other countries seem to care about the education of their younger generation. All right, we're going to move on to a story about folks in a much higher tax bracket. Celebrities. Wait, don't speak for me. No, you can't. A new list is out with the top celeb polluters based on their use of private planes, or PJs, they're called, private jets. So topping the list, Erica, it's your Swiftie, Taylor. Her plane has been on 170 flights since January. It's emitted more than 8,000 tons of carbon dioxide. Rounding out the list of the top 5 biggest polluters are Floyd Mayweather, Jay-Z, A-Rod, and Blake Shelton. But Taylor's policies hitting back, explaining her plane is, quote, loaned out regularly to other individuals. But does it matter if your plane is loaned out if it's still spewing that much CO2? What do we think? Lindsay, would you get a private jet? How do you think Taylor, because her reputation It's her album name, is kind of a little, you don't want to be the biggest polluter of all.
Well, I don't know many people with private jets, but I know that people who do have them tend to loan them out because no one uses them every single weekend.
Right.
And so in order to make it make sense financially, most people don't just like to waste money. They're trying to make money from it, or at least cover the cost of it, so they're loaning it out. And so if she's not using it all, someone else will be using a different private jet. The people will be going where they're going. So of course, if I was in Taylor Swift's position, or Oprah, or Jay-Z, I'll be hopping on my private jet wherever I'd like to go. And I'm not mad at it. But these people that got on her private jet and spewed all those emissions would get on someone else's if they didn't get on hers.
Fair point.
So why not let the girl make some money?
Do you agree with this? You're the Swiftie.
Yeah, I don't.
Cobbler?
I mean, it's basic sense that Taylor Swift did not take 170, was it?
Yeah, since January.
That she didn't personally do that. I mean, again, I'm very much like, listen, we need to have some sort of way to make sure that we don't just kill this earth. But we also have to look at our own responsibilities. And that's just how I feel about it. Like, yes, we can point fingers all day long, but by pointing fingers, we're also not acknowledging our part in CO2 emission. We're not acknowledging our part in our carbon footprints. And we do a lot of things on a daily basis that's contributing. So why don't we all just do better?
Like, the person complaining is probably the same one who had a plastic straw earlier.
True, but a plastic straw, I do have to push back. A plastic straw and a private jet are two different things, right? Like, it's one of the worst form of transport.
We're never going to agree on this. We are never going to agree on this. Tori, we call, what was it, eco-hypocrites?
Yeah.
Like, we're all eco-hypocrites. Like, it is mind-blowing to me on a daily basis when somebody goes on their iPhone, which is made from petroleum products. They have driven to work on asphalt made from petroleum products. Then they come and they drink this bottle of water made from petroleum products. It's like, geez, like, you don't understand how much you are contributing to all of these issues that you want to point other fingers at other people. There is no small issue, because the small issue collectively becomes a big issue. We can point the fingers at the top 5 or top 10 celebrity polluters for using their private planes, while all of a sudden ignoring all of the things that we do on a regular basis every single minute that are contributing.
Can both happen? Like,
both can happen.
8,000 tons is a lot more than my water bottle. You don't think it's fair?
I don't believe there's a hierarchy.
Okay.
When people don't come in with clean hands, let's not say, well, my hands were just slightly less soiled. Your hands dirty
soiled.
too.
Okay.
Your hands is dirty.
Let us know.
Everybody's hands is dirty. Then a single person that's watching in this room that don't have dirty hands.
Okay, but you don't see a difference between the 8,000 tons and a plastic straw. There's no difference to you.
I see it like this. I see like a dude being like, you know what? I cheated on my girl, but that dude over there, he cheats on his girl every single day. It's still cheating. It's still cheating.
Okay. It's still cheating. That was good. It was really good.
Did she change your mind?
No. Coming up on DBL, you remember him from Starship Troopers, Casper Van Dien, but she always inspires me. You have to hear his crazy story about him getting attacked by an elephant on set. And we do have some notable celebrity deaths over the weekend, and we are going to be remembering Bill Russell and Nichelle Nichols after the break. Stay tuned for that.
Closed cap.
I think it is one of those stories we're all going to be like, what?
So raised you.
Why am I right all the time? Welcome to another week of Jeff's Mustache.
Am I going crazy? Thousand tons is different, but it's not.
Yeah, so I think the point is that we really have to be careful about being like, this is your fault. It's like, we're all in a glass house. Because honestly, let's say we all drink out of a plastic straw 3 times a week. Everyone in the office. And that's everyone in the world in their office.
Good subject.
Every day, it's a problem. Every day, it's, you know. So
Your outfits look really
it's
great,
just,
you guys.
I think when we talk about eco-hypocrisy, it just stems from the idea that we have set up a society of so many conveniences that people are not willing to relinquish said conveniences, from plastic containers to the cars that they drive
to private jets.
People want convenience, and at each level of your socioeconomic status, those conveniences are going to come at a greater cost, but it does not take away from the conveniences that we all share as regular, average, everyday citizens.
I feel like it's the same people who complain about having to pay for their grocery bags now here in Denver. Because here in Denver, you have to pay for like your bags that you put your groceries into as a separate fee.
You bring it
but
back.
You get so many people. Yeah, all you have to do is bring another bag back, or take that good old big old IKEA bag if you got some apartment stairs going all the way up with one bag. But I hear so many people complaining about that. But then on the same token, they'll turn around and be like, oh, save the turtles. I'm not gonna like drink out of the straw. And I'm like, well, girl, recycle your bags then. Put them underneath the kitchen sink.
Tons of carbon dioxide. I'm just trying to argue.
So here's Bill Russell, Nichelle Nichols, the quote
That's her son.
So DBL Nation, come here with me. Tell me, what's your favorite Beyonce song so far? Mine's is Between Church Girl, probably Energy. Church Girl, the whole moment though.
I was like,
all
oh
day,
man.
every day. But y'all write in, let me know what your favorite Beyonce song is, since we got some in between time. We don't have to talk about all that craziness with the carbon dioxide.
Happy Monday! Welcome back. So today we are remembering a couple of very, very notable people who died over the weekend, including Bill Russell, who passed away peacefully yesterday at the age of 88. Bill Russell won 11 championships playing for the Boston Celtics. He then went on to become the first black head coach in a major American sports league. Russell was also a well-known civil rights icon, taking part in the 1963 March on Washington, and even helped open an integrated basketball camp in Jackson, Mississippi. He was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2011. Check out this clip of Magic Johnson talking about Russell.
This is my idol right here. He got 11 right here. 11 championships. Got the most rings. I was trying to come on back here, Larry. And then my other idol, Larry Bird. See, I tried to get as many as him. I couldn't get there. And then I was fighting this man.
It was a noble effort, though.
Yeah, noble effort.
When Lindsay, when he started playing, he was the only black player on the Celtics in 1956. What does his legacy mean to you?
I mean, I think I hear a lot that once you pass away, what you leave people with and how they remember you, people that you loved and touched, is a big deal. So that's what I think about, like, what's the goal of everything? It's really, how do I make people feel when I leave them? And I think that he is somebody who exemplifies that on and off the court, because a lot of what he did on the court, which was inspire, he took into civil rights for people that look like him. He created basketball camps for people to feel integrated, even when his experience was not integrated.
Exactly.
And so to step beyond yourself and open doors that didn't exist for you shows that you're a giant in many more than one way. And so I think that's the type of legacy that you want to leave behind, even if it's for one person. Everyone doesn't have to be a superstar, but that legacy of just trying to help someone else out along your way is a big deal.
What do you think?
I think you also have to, there's so many gems, so many gems to be learned from someone like Bill Russell. First of all, anytime we talk about civil rights leaders, leadership icons, also remember what they had to endure.
I always think
his home was broken into and someone defecated on his actual bed. All of his trophies were smashed. The FBI had to be called numerous times, and he requested that his FBI records be made public.
Wow.
They came home to the N-word spray painted on their home. So yes, these people were brave and they were courageous and they were leaders, but they were also targets.
Yeah, right.
For most of their lives.
That's right.
And the idea that we can celebrate people, in death, let's really talk about the struggle and the journey of how he got and became that icon and that legend.
That's true. And speaking of that, we're also remembering Nichelle Nichols, who I really treasured growing up. She passed away at the age of 89. Nichelle is best known for playing Lieutenant Uhura in Star Trek. I'm a Trekkie. My mom is a Trekkie. She started on the show in 1966. Imagine that in that time period, like Erica was saying. Became one of the first black women to appear on TV in a main role. She went on to work for NASA, helping to make the agency more diverse, recruiting astronauts. And in her role on Star Trek, here it is, she took part in one of the very first interracial kisses ever seen on television with her co-star William Shatner. Shatner posted this to Twitter saying, quote, "She was a beautiful woman and played an admirable character that did so much for redefining social issues both here in the U.S., throughout the world. I will certainly miss her." And I wanted to give you this too. Speaking of Martin Luther King Jr., remember Bill Russell was in the front row at that March on Washington speech? She was considering to quit, and MLK Jr. came up to her, Nichelle, and said, "This is a God-given opportunity to change the face of television, change the way we think. We are no longer second-class or third-class citizens." And I think they were both touched by Martin Luther King Jr., and they both were towers in their field. It's very amazing to see two very different industries and what they did in their fields. Unbelievable.
I think it boils down to the same kind of thing. It's like whatever it's what you're doing or your presence, it kind of opened doors to see there was an interracial kiss on television.
Yes.
To see that there was a black woman in a main role.
Yes.
Just the presence itself is enough motivation for someone else to watch that and say, hey, I could do that when I get older.
Absolutely.
And that's a big deal.
It really is.
Someone passed away yesterday who had the first interracial kiss on television. Just
process that.
Just process
what that means. I agree. Well, may they both rest in power. Coming up on DBL, our interview with Starship Troopers actor Casper Van Dien, how he's returning to space for his new sci-fi series.
Suffer from pain?
Both San Francisco and New York State have issued public health declarations in response to monkeypox, as both try to contain local outbreaks. And there are reports that the Biden administration may issue what's called a public health emergency declaration. That's at the federal level. So what would that do? Let's verify. We spoke with James Hodge, a health law professor from Arizona State University, Megan McGinty, an epidemic and disaster response expert from Johns Hopkins University, and we looked at information from the Administration for Strategic Preparedness and Response. A public health emergency declaration is made by the Secretary of Health and Human Services, Xavier Becerra in this case.
It would allow HHS to instantaneously do some things that it can't presently do quickly.
It enables Becerra to hire people, make grants, enter contracts, waive certain requirements, and access additional funds.
Usually during emergency declarations, like with opioids or things we've seen in the past, there actually would be a freestanding fund ready to be used for devoting to these purposes. We've been working to refill that fund post-COVID, and to my knowledge, to date, it's not yet been refilled. In fact, Congress has been reticent to do it. Now, monkeypox may change its mind very quickly, but the sheer fact is the funds that normally would be there to the tune of millions of dollars simply may not be at this point in time.
It can also allow states and local jurisdictions to purchase general supplies at reduced cost. McGinty says there's also a symbolic value.
The act of making an emergency declaration calls attention to a problem and says this is of significance that we as a country need to be paying attention to this.
With your Verify, I'm Evan Kozlov.
Welcome back to DBL. Starship Troopers is still one of the most talked about cult classic films. And earlier we spoke to Casper Van Dien about returning to space for his new sci-fi series. Casper Van Dien, thank you so much for joining DBL.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely.
So it's been 25 years since you went to war with the giant alien insects in Starship Troopers. So do people still recognize you from the movie after all these years?
one of the greatest thrills I have is that Starship Troopers has got such a huge, ongoing, continuing, and seems to be growing fan base. I've been yelled at my whole life. People just yelling different quotes, going, "Come on, you apes, you want to live forever." So it's fun.
So let's talk about this, because you were the 20th Tarzan for Tarzan and the Lost City, but you were the only Tarzan actor to film in Africa. I talk about this a lot, going into other creatures' habitats. I don't like for them to come into mine. So I'm wondering if you have any scary incidents with the wildlife on set.
I do. I have several from Tarzan. There was a lot of things that were really dangerous with that. One of them was a baby elephant charged me, and it was walking by. Jane March jumps off the elephant. We're supposed to wave at the big elephant, and the little baby elephant walks by. It's the size of a Volkswagen bus, so it's still like 1.5 tons or whatever it is. But it nudged its head up against me during Tarzan, and I kind of pushed its head. And later they said, Tarzan, never push a baby's elephant's head. It'll want to play, crash. And so the elephant backed up, its ears went out, and then it charged me, and I go, Jane, run. And then the elephant hit me with its tusks. I grabbed on, it lifted me 4 feet up over its head and slammed me down. Went back in, it went back up to do it again when it dropped me, and I just ran up the hill and got away from it, and they came down and calmed it down. But it was pretty scary.
You're heading back to space, the final frontier, which I love, in your new sci-fi action series, Salvage Marines. Your character, Samuel, joins the Salvage Marines. Can you just tell us what a Salvage Marine is and what their mission is? I thought it was like salvaging gold in space.
It is. It's salvaging gold in space, salvaging other wrecks in space, and actually we even find out later, which is when he starts questioning authority, we also salvage humans. So there's different things that happen. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of darkness. So you're all born into debt. You're all born in with, a debt you'll never get out of, and it's passed down to your kids and then his grandkids. And so you have this unsurmountable debt that's just so massive and overwhelming. The only way to get out is to join the Salvage Marines, but there's an 80% mortality rate there. So, this is where this character starts questioning things later, but he joins up for a noble reason because his wife is pregnant, and it's a late pregnancy and we didn't expect it. And that's why he didn't join it before, because he was like, I'm not going to die. But then when he is a kid, he's like, I can't leave this debt to him. It'll be too much.
Wow. So your wife is actually in the series with you. What's it like working with your own wife?
Jenny Lou Wonder plays Jada, and she does it so well. She's such a badass in this. It's so cool to see.
Casper, thank you so much for joining us on DBL. For our viewers, you can watch Casper's new series, Salvage Marines, on Popcorn Flicks. We'll be right back. Thank you so much, Casper.
Thank you so much.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by...
Merrick Garland, and more importantly, Tori, why should you care? Let me fill you in. All right, let's go back to President Obama, 2016. He had an open seat on the Supreme Court after Justice Scalia died. It was a no-brainer that Obama nominates this extremely smart, Harvard-educated, moderate, and well-liked lawyer from Chicago. But, and this is a huge but, famously, the Republican-led Senate at the time refused to even hold a hearing to consent to his confirmation. The standoff lasted a whopping 293 days, the longest ever, and in the end, Garland never made it to the bench, and Mitch McConnell became famous as that guy that didn't let Garland have a chance. Eventually, President Trump came to power and successfully nominated Neil Gorsuch for the vacancy. So now, fast forward to Joe Biden's presidency. Joe immediately nominates Garland to be his attorney general, which, if you didn't know, don't worry, it's fine. It's basically America's super lawyer, the top guy, the big kahuna. He's the most powerful lawyer in the United States and the head of the entire Justice Department. But again, Tori, why do you want me to know this? Because remember the January 6th committee? Well, only Merrick Garland can decide if charges are filed after all of that. Yup. It's up to this guy and this guy alone to charge former President Trump with criminal charges due to his actions on January 6th. He holds all the power, and to be honest, this has a lot of people very worried. You see, if Merrick Garland was an animal, he would be a sloth. Maybe a tortoise. He is renowned for doing everything by the book, extremely carefully. Now, Slow and meticulous is fabulous when you're trying to build a case, but not so fabulous when there's a time limit. And last Friday, the January 6th committee was like, yo, Garland, TikTok, time's up. Representative Jamie Raskin, a leading member of the committee, went on SiriusXM and told Joe Madison, the Black Eagle, that he is, quote, impatient with the slow pace of Merrick Garland and the Department of Justice regarding Trump. Quote, obviously I'm impatient. We don't have a lot of time, certainly in Congress, to do our work because at the end of this Congress, we're over, noting that a new Congress begins in January. Quote, we're in a hurry, but we're also in a hurry for America because we've got to deal with people who attack the constitutional order before the 2024 election. And we just heard it worked. Merrick Garland has announced this week the Department of Justice will be investigating Trump for federal criminal charges. So, does the tortoise get the hare? Now you know.
Are you skeptical of headlines and what you see on social media? We are too. The Verify newsletter helps you distinguish between true and false information by answering your questions. It provides fast facts on trending topics, spotlights major stories, and even includes a daily fun fact for all those trivia buffs out there. Get Verify's fast facts delivered every weekday to your email inbox. Go to verifythis.com/email to check it out.
I didn't know what to do. Welcome back. Happy birthday, George Jetson.
Wow.
Yesterday appears to have marked the birth of the popular animated sitcom character. So we thought we'd take a look at some of the predictions that the Jetsons got right. Like one, video calling, which the Jetsons predicted in 1962 and has become widely used across the world today. And even if we don't have our own Rosie the robot, who do we got? We got Roomba.
Roomba.
We got Roomba. We household chores, vacuums, mops, blah, blah, blah. And of course, how could we forget dog treadmills, which are available online for only a few $100s today, although they don't float in the air. Which brings us to predictions about the future they got wrong, including flying cars. Okay, not yet. Hygiene machines that brush your hair and teeth for you. A machine that makes you breakfast at the push of a button. And George's 3-hour, 3-day work week. We hope that's coming. So what do you think about the lasting impact of the Jetsons? Do you think over the next 40 years we'll see some of the other shows' predictions come true? What do you guys think? I was pretty right on.
I was terrified about flying cars. So I feel like I already don't like planes that much, and so everybody, the way that people drive, specifically on my way here, and then thinking about everybody flying instead, I just probably would continue to take the road.
Take the road?
I'm glad that didn't come true. But the FaceTime thing is so crazy in the video calling because I don't talk to anybody like on the regular phone. And when they do, I find it awkward. That people are calling me. I'm like, no, let me see your face. That's like, even if you're in your pajamas, what's your face doing? So they predicted that really good, and it worked out for me.
It's amazing, right? What do you think?
I think flying cars are coming.
I think flying cars are coming too. And I think, what's that line from?
You guys are gonna fly your cars?
Oh yeah. What's that line, you guys, from Back to the Future? Where we're going, Marty, we don't need roads because they're in the air.
I don't know any movie references, so like.
We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow up in the air. Bye, guys.